Hello there, welcome to Inkquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen review. When I reviewed this Retro 51 Tornado Rollerball, my first Retro 51, I liked it so much I had to get the fountain pen version to see if I would like it as much. I ordered this Retro 51 Tornado fountain pen with a 1.1 stub nib in this gorgeous brushed copper finish called Lincoln. Let's take a look at it right now. And here we have another box from Goldspot Pens. You can see it right there, goldspot.com. All ripped up because I had to tear the invoice off. Let's open it up and see what Tom has sent me today. Now, in addition to the pen that I bought, we'll get to that in a second, he has included a notebook. And from Dominant Industry, Takasago Fountain Pen Note. A 586 sheets. I just run out with my journal. And I'm wondering whether this is a journal or not. Made for fountain pen. I'll open that up and use that for sure. Thank you, Tom. And this is an Pad transparent acrylic Measure My Pen. From Dominant Industries, the same company that made this. So let's see what this is about. Okay. Aha. Well, bango my Richard Binder line width charts that I keep. Oh, I'll continue to attach them to my videos, but this is so much easier to lay over your line to see what the thickness is. There's a line thickness chart in millimeters and a fountain pen nib thickness chart as well. So you can check the size of your nib and the size of the line your nib makes. Isn't that terrific? Let's open this up. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I just purchased this Retro 51 Tornado in a finish called Holding Time. It's a rollerball, and I like the rollerball so much, I looked up the Tornado on the Goldspot website and found a fountain pen version that I really had to have. Life is too short to carry an ugly pen, which is the motto of Retro 51. And this is a Retro 1951 Tornado fountain pen. It's the Lincoln fountain pen. And this one is a 1.1 millimeter stub, and it was the last one that Tom had, so I had to snap it up. And there's the logo. I didn't note this in my I knew this, but I didn't note it in my previous review of Retro 51 of the Rollerball. These pens are made in Taiwan. So just so you know, the pen company Retro 51 comes from Texas, but the pens themselves are made in Taiwan. Just so you're not wondering why you were paying tariffs. Take off the cellophane. We have another wonderful tube. Open it up the right way. And we have the pen, a converter, a booklet, and there's the pen itself. Let's take a look at the booklet just briefly before we look at the pen. It's a little catalog, some information about the company, their mission, their rollerballs, the Tornado rollerball, the Tornado fountain pen, and how it works. Fountain pen care and maintenance. All excellent information. Oh, and there's a fountain. I might have to get a pencil now too. You know, that's what happens. You discover a new company. They're not so new. I've known they've been around for a while, but I'd never handled one before, and then you like it and you go, okay, I gotta do a completionist thing and find out what else they have. So let's take this converter out because we'll be using this. It's a Standard International. It looks like it can be disassemblable. I was really struck with this pen, and there it is. This is called the Lincoln, and it is brushed copper, just like a penny, with some antiquing on the clip, So it might be hard to see, but that is actually going to black there. And it's bright copper there. It goes to black. Brushed copper on the end finial. Do we pull or unscrew? We unscrew. And there's our Retro 51 Yovo nib. This is a 1.1 stub. And squeak, squeak. And there are a couple of international standard cartridges inside the barrel. So you know that it takes two. I'll just put that converter in because I'll be filling this with bottled ink. And that is very nice. Now, we got plastic threads on the inside. Yep. So it should not disturb that surface. No, it posts very nicely. Yep. It makes it back weighted though. So this is much better. In my hand, I can tell. The other thing I want to find out is whether that surface is treated or it is bare copper. And so using it for a little while with my skin, that will start to develop a patina if that is not coated with anything. I think that's bare copper, so that will get more antique the more you use it. Interesting. We'll have to find out what kind of ink to put in this pen. I've got some ideas already, but I'm looking forward to doing a review of this Tornado fountain pen in Lincoln Penny. Beautiful. I'll show the parts and features of this pen, show some size comparisons and measurements, and then provide a writing sample. Then I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about this fountain pen. But first, let's look at how the Tornado Rollerball compares to the fountain pen. The clips are the same, but that's where the similarity ends. Even the trademark Retro 51 knurled knob on the end is just a slight visual nod to the Rollerball finial design. The fountain pen is longer, capped, and has a completely different barrel shape, which is to be expected. So although there are some slight visual clues that this is related to the Tornado Rollerball, it is a wholly different writing experience in the hand from the Rollerball. Overall, it is a medium-sized fountain pen with flat top and bottom finials and similar in size to the Lamy Safari. This is actually a Lamy Vista.
Get out!
It is actually closer to the Pilot Explorer in size and proportions. The barrel, cap, clip, and finials are all made of brushed copper. I'm sure it's some kind of copper alloy, but I have no way of knowing what metal the copper is mixed with. I am sure that it's bare copper though. There's no lacquer coating on the metal, so I expect this pen to tarnish like a Lincoln penny as it is used and it ages. There is a bit of antiquing process given to the clip because it goes darker into a black right there, and there's some blacking on the knurled knob top finial as well. From the top we see the knurled knob top finial, which has a steel insert in the middle. The knob itself is much smaller than the knurled knob on the end of the Rollerball.
And he's got a big knob,
which is practical on this pen. Here it is just decorative. The top finial holds the clip in place, and the band, which is not attached to the clip, has a Tornado TM by Retro 1951 engraved in it. The clip extends from the cap, and it is identical in shape to the Rollerball clip. The cap is straight to a band at the bottom of the cap with no engravings on it, but that band is given a slight antique treatment like the clip and the top knurled knob to make it slightly a different color. And you can see that brushed angled texture, which is the same angle and the same technique all the way through the pen. There's a small step down to the barrel, which slightly tapers down to the end finial, which is again brushed copper. The cap unscrews with 1.5 turns to reveal the black enameled metal section and the Yovo number 6 size steel stub nib. This is a 1.1. It has the 1.1 on the shoulder and a Circle 51 Retro 51 logo laser etched into the top. And there's a black plastic feed. The nib and feed are part of a nib unit which unscrews for maintenance or replacement. The section unscrews to reveal the included standard international converter, and as you saw in the unboxing, the barrel will accept 2 standard international short cartridges, one in the section and one for storage. I added a drop of silicone oil to those threads right there because that squeaking of those metal threads on top of that lacquered metal thread was making me crazy. There is no O-ring here. I would suggest that might be an improvement that they could make, to add a silicone O-ring right there to keep this barrel from unscrewing, although that's not something I've experienced with this pen. Unposted in the hand, the pen is very comfortable, not as heavy as you might think. It's certainly not as heavy as the Rollerball. Without ink, we're looking at 19.8 grams unposted, and the pen is 34.5 grams complete. The inside of the cap shows what looks like nylon cap liner, which incorporates the threads and acts as the cap seal to seal the nib from drying out. And I wanted to determine whether the copper was part of a sleeve that went over something else, or whether the whole barrel and cap were copper alloy. So I put my inspection camera down inside the barrel and the cap, and you can plainly see that it's that reddish color. So the barrel and the cap are completely copper inside and out. It's not just a copper sheath on top of something else. Those nylon cap threads go on that barrel and keep it from scratching the surface of that metal. The pen posts deeply and securely, but it's fairly back weighted, with all the weight being back here at the top finial. So I don't find this comfortable in my hand. To set the balance so that it's balanced in my hand, I have to write with it way up here. It's a little bit too high for me. So I'll write with this pen down here. That section has a nice taper to it and then a slight flare towards the nib, and is very comfortable, and those threads are not sharp at all. Now let's look at some size comparisons. And here we have the Retro 51 Tornado fountain pen in the finish Lincoln, with the Retro 51 Tornado Rollerball in the finish called Holding Time. Here it is with a Pilot Explorer, a Diplomat Viper, and a Moonman B25. Now let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. Of course, the Rollerball does not post because it's a complete pen, and that knurled knob extends the Rollerball. The Lincoln posts a little bit deeper than the Explorer, but the Explorer is made of plastic and much lighter than the Lincoln. The Diplomat Viper is a hooded nib pen with a magnetic cap, and I've just received this Moonman B25, which is an almost exact copy of the Parker 25 from the 1970s, early 80s, and I'm going to be doing a review and comparison of this pen with the Parker 25 real soon now, so watch for that. Let's look at them unposted. And here they are unposted. 5 very interesting pens. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And we're back with the writing portion of the review. I didn't have to think twice about which ink I was going to put in this pen. With that copper and black, I had to have an ink that was black with copper highlights. And the perfect ink for that is my J. Herbin Shogun. It is a black ink that has a copper shimmer to it. In fact, I knew that I was going to use this ink even when I was ordering the pen. So I'm going to shake that up and fill this pen up to do a writing sample. And there we go. This is the Retro 51 Tornado Lincoln. And it has a number 6 size JoWo steel 1.1 stub. And let's check the wetness. Very, very wet. Very, very smooth. I'm really starting to love these JoWo stubs. The Lazy Man's line variation is what I call it. And the line thickness we get out of this horizontally, and let's turn it this way and go vertically, because I have a new tool. Instead of using Richard Binder's line width chart, which I still will link in the description below for you, Tom sent me this really cool device with this pen. It's from Dominant Industries, and find out your line thickness. So let's Make sure this is dry and check our line thickness. So that looks like 0.25 for the horizontal. So I'd say the vertical is closer to 1. So we're going to say 0.25 and 1.0 millimeters in line width. So that's a extra fine, and this is like a double broad, of course, and that's the typical characteristic of a stub nib. And of course the ink, as you saw, is J. Urbain, or as they say in my local stationery store, Jack Herbin Shogun. And you may not be able to see it here on the page, but it is sparkling in copper. With the amount of ink that a stub lays down, you get more of that shimmer out of the pen on the page. Let's do our quote. I ran off the page. And some reverse writing. Well, you're not really going to do that with a stub nib. It doesn't really work that well. And let's look at some quick writing. You're seeing some skips up here. That's just me missing the page. This feed is keeping up very, very nicely. Beautiful writer. I bought this pen on Gold Spot Pens for $92 US. The pen is available in 4 different nib sizes, EF, F, M, and 1.1 stub. All of those nibs are sold out at this point except for the medium. And what are my thoughts about this fountain pen? Well, when I purchased the Tornado Rollerball, I really was enamored of the shape and the feel of this pen in the hand. And I thought, well, you know, the fountain pen is a different shape. I could tell that from the pictures, but I thought, I wonder if the writing experience might be similar, how it feels in my hand. And I was also taken with this copper finish. I think this pen just looks great and is going to look even better as it ages. It's already starting to get some, you probably can't see it, it's already starting to get a little bit of patina right back in here where I've been holding it. And I've only been writing with this pen for a couple of days. But these two pens are completely different. Of course, that's obvious because this is a rollerball and that's a fountain pen, but the fact that they call them both tornadoes is a little bit misleading. There's some visual clues here with the knurled knob on the top and the clip being the same, but other than that, these are completely different writing instruments. The cap is too heavy, back-weighted back here towards the end knurled knob for this pen to be written with posted comfortably, in my hand anyway. Certainly the pen posts deeply and securely, but you have to hold the pen back here on the barrel to get it balanced properly. The number 6 1.1 stub steel nib writes beautifully, smoothly, wet, and it really shows off the shimmer of my J. Urbain Shogun ink. So I did kind of expect this pen to be different than the Tornado Rollerball. Of course, I'm not displeased with it. I love the look, I love the brushed copper, and I love the way it feels in my hand and writes so smoothly with lots of line variation flair. So there you have it. Thanks go out to Tom Odo of Gold Spot Pens for accepting my money for this pen.
Shut up and take my money!
He did throw in this lovely line width tool, which is great, and he also gave me a Takasago journal made for fountain pen. This is about 90 GSM paper as well, so I'll be keen to try that ivory lined notebook out for my journaling. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And you can join as a member of my channel as well for only 99 cents a month, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, sneak peek unboxing videos, as well as instant access to my videos the moment I post them. And that just leaves it for me to say thank you for watching, and that's all she wrote.
I made this.